What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTP Sports. Man, these 2 days off in between the Wild Card Series and the NLDS, it feels like 50 years. It feels like it's taking forever. And even for tomorrow, when we're even getting closer and closer and closer and closer to game time, it's still going to feel like it's taking a millennia. It's still going to feel like we're aging by 20, 30, 40 years just to get the first pitch down in Atlanta, seeing Ranger Suarez going up against Spencer Strider. Man, that is going to take a full time, man. It feels like it's taken forever. But we got some important business to talk about. We got a new series to talk about, rematch from last year's National League Division Series, Phillies versus Braves. We all know the stories. We all know the storylines about everything going from last season to this season. We know the Phillies are feeling themselves. We know the Braves, they're the best team in Major League Baseball, 104 and 58. They got boppers and mashers all over the lineup. They got a good bullpen. They are dealing with injuries to their starting rotation, so right now that's probably one of their biggest weak points, regardless of how dynamic Spencer Strider is, because his numbers against the Phillies in the regular season, holy shit, they are just too good. They are overly good. It does not make sense. It does not make sense at all on how good he was against the Phillies during the regular season over the course of his career. Basically, the only time he has struggled against the Phillies was last year's NLDS when he was injured, when you could definitely tell he wasn't going the full game and he lost his velocity over the course, and that's what led to the Rhys Hoskins bat slam moment. So that was really the only time we've seen Spencer Strider struggle against this Philadelphia Phillies team. But who knows what could happen? Who knows what could happen? We all know the freaking comments from Spencer Strider about how he prefers fans not being in the stadiums. He'd rather them be empty and all that stuff. So who knows? Maybe that comes back to bite him in the ass. But game one is definitely going to be a very difficult task for your Phillies. They managed to win one of two in Atlanta last year to get it back to Philadelphia and basically shut the door down there. They're going to have to do the same thing here. They're going to have to do the same thing in these first two games against Atlanta down at Truist Park. Try to split one of these two games with the Braves on their home turf, and then you come back to Philadelphia for this home field advantage where teams are terrified of. The Braves could say, oh, we're used to it. Oh, well, we experienced it last year. We know what we're prepared for. No, it doesn't matter how much prepared you are. You're still not going to be prepared enough to come to Citizens Bank Park with a bunch of the loudest home field advantage you're ever going to hear in Major League Baseball. That's basically the case. That is the case. No amount of preparation can prepare you enough for what you're going to experience, regardless if you've been here before in the playoffs. It's just a whole different beast. It's a whole different beast. And people could say, oh, the Braves fans, they're raucous and all that stuff. Truist Park's atmosphere does not compare to Citizens Bank Park. It just doesn't in a playoff game. Can they be loud? Do they do their stupid chop chant when the bullpen changes and all that stuff? Yeah, they do that. But Citizens Bank Park is just a completely different beast, man. It really is. But still, this series is not going to be easy. This is going to be a heavyweight battle. The biggest heavyweight battle that you've probably seen. There's like so many people around the sports world that are saying like whoever wins this series between the Phillies and the Braves could possibly just go on and win the World Series, because, you know, that could be the case at the end of the day, because whoever wins this series, they go on to play either the Dodgers or the Diamondbacks in the NLCS, and then it's off to the World Series after that. But, you know, that's how high a lot of the experts are in Major League Baseball on this series between these two teams. We all know how much the Braves have dominated Major League Baseball, but we also know how much of an Achilles heel, how much a thorn in the side the Phillies have been to the Atlanta Braves basically over the past couple of seasons. If you go to like 2019, I'm not sure the record is as a whole, but if you look at the two records between the Braves versus the rest of Major League Baseball and the Braves versus the Phillies, it's night and day. It's night and day how much, for some reason, when the Braves play the Philadelphia Phillies, it's just a whole different beast for them. It's just a whole different type of competition. It's like what I was talking about during the Marlins series. For some reason, the Marlins were the Achilles heel to the Phillies over the past couple of seasons, but the Phillies found a way to beat those 2 games. And for some reason, the Phillies are just the Achilles heel to the Atlanta Braves. This Phillies team, they're not scared of this Atlanta Braves squad. They know how stacked they are, but they do know at the same time that they can beat them. They can beat them in their home turf. They can shut them down in Citizens Bank Park. But still, like I said, heavyweight battle. This is not going to be an easy series. I don't think it's going to be as easy as it was during last year's playoffs, because that was just mind-boggling how much the Braves didn't show up last year. I'm sure they're going to be putting up some different type of fight this season, but still, I'm very confident in this Phillies team that they can find a way to win this series in Atlanta and just continue this magic ride. But still, if you look at this Braves lineup and just everywhere, they hit home runs. They hit home runs. We know the Phillies hit home runs, but the Braves make the Phillies home runs look like child's play. It's that ridiculous on how many home runs this team has hit over the course of the year. 307 home runs. They were just like right near the home run record for most home runs in a regular season. I think they were like a couple of home runs off from like the Yankees and the Twins. So that's crazy. But just looking through the lineup, they got 3 guys in their lineup with 40-plus home runs. Matt Olson with 54, Ronald Acuna Jr., 40-70 season, 41 home runs, 70-plus stolen bases. He's basically going to be the unanimous MVP of the National League this year. Marcell Ozuna, 40 home runs, 100 RBI. Austin Riley, 37 home runs. Ozzie Albies, 33 home runs. Sean Murphy has been struggling a lot in the second half, but he still has 21 home runs. Rosario has 21 home runs. Michael Harris, 18. Orlando Arcia, 17. Travis d'Arnaud, 11. And then it just goes down the list from there. They drive in runs. They get on base. They hit with guys and runners in scoring position. So, their offense, we all know, is the biggest thing with this Atlanta Braves squad. But the one thing that the Phillies do have right now over the Braves is health with their starting rotation. We all, like I said in the beginning, the Max Fried's blister situation, we have no idea what's going to be happening there. Charlie Morton over the past couple of seasons always seems to get injured during the playoffs. It happened in 2021 when in the World Series against the Astros, and it happened last year in the NLDS against the Phillies. So, can Charlie Morton stay healthy? Is Elder going to be a piece that they have to use in one of these games? Is Spencer Strider going to be able to hold the fort? Because right now, he's the healthiest pitcher, and yes, he is a dynamite. He has fantastic career numbers against the Phillies, but is he going to be able to, do it in the playoffs? That still remains to be seen. I'm sure he's going to want a ton of revenge of what happened from last year's postseason. So there's definitely a lot of things, that have to go there. I'm sure, if the Phillies find a way to get the Spencer Strider in that top of the first inning, and, if you're just looking at this entire game in general, Game 1, Spencer Strider going up against Ranger Suarez, the big thing for Phillies fans looking from Ranger Suarez, can he give you length? Can he go, 6 innings, 1 earned, 2 earned runs? Can he do something like that, a quality start? I think Phillies fans would accept that. And for Spencer Strider, I'm sure Braves fans would accept, 6 innings, maybe 0 earned, 1 earned run, maybe a couple of walks mixed in there. I'm sure Braves fans would be fine with that. It would still be a very close game after that, and it would still be anybody's, way to find a way to win that game. So it's definitely going to be the most difficult task probably for this Phillies team is to find a way to hit Spencer Strider, because he's pitching Game 1, and he's pitching twice this series. Game 1, whether it's Game 4 or Game 5 after that, most likely Game 4. So that's definitely going to be in the pocket of the Atlanta Braves. They still have a very good bullpen now. They got guys that can shut you down, but their closer, Raisel Iglesias, he has struggled against the Phillies this year, especially Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper, over the course of his career, has, crushed this guy. So maybe that's the Achilles heel for the Braves too. Them not being able to shut down Bryce Harper. And Bryce Harper was very quiet during the wild card series in those 2 games against Miami. He had a hit mixed in there, but, a couple of walks, but overall wasn't the best version of Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper is going to come up clutch no matter what. I'm firmly positive that Bryce Harper will wake up during this series. I'm sure he's, not worried in the slightest. No one's worried in the slightest. So that's basically it right there. Kyle Schwarber had a couple of hits, couple of big hits in the wild card series. I'm sure he's due for more. Trey Turner was really good, so I'm sure he's going to continue that. Alec Boehm, Bryson Stott with the grand slam. Nick Castellanos. These guys have something to prove again. These guys want to go all the way this time and finish the job. And right now, it kind of feels like nothing's going to be stopped in their path as they try to go through this. But this is going to be the toughest test of all, this Atlanta Braves squad. And a lot of people, are definitely complaining that this should be a 7-game series. This should have been saved for the NLCS type of matchup. But at the end of the day, you can only control the controllables. And this is the way that MLB scheduled the playoffs, regardless of how dumb it is. A lot of people want to see the Braves, play against the lower competition. And that's mostly coming from a lot of the Braves people, too, saying that the Braves should not have to play the Phillies in the NLDS. That should be an NLCS matchup. And that kind of, and I think Destiny Lagardo posted this too on Twitter as she was, preparing for her Phillies coverage going into this weekend in Atlanta. She was in an Uber, she said. She was listening to sports talk radio in the car, and she sensed a little bit of anxiety from, sports talk radio down in Atlanta about this Phillies squad. We've heard it a bunch of times from the Braves' perspective this year. We've heard it from Brian Snitker many times, how much this Phillies team scares the living hell out of him. So, are the Braves confident in themselves that they can win this series, or do they have the lingering thought in the back of their mind, oh my God, we got to face this fucking Phillies squad again? Again in the playoffs? That's going to be the biggest task for them. I would say all the pressure in the world is on Atlanta. On Atlanta. Phillies would be playing with house money. It's basically the same as last year. Even though the Phillies are a little bit better than last year, and they've won that series last year against Atlanta, the pressure is still on Atlanta. You're the best team in Major League Baseball. Everyone's expecting you to plow through the playoffs and go on a World Series run. But right now, your difficult test is going up against a team that's been a thorn in the back of your side at this point, basically for the past few seasons. So that's going to be the biggest test of them all for this Atlanta Braves squad as well. Same thing with this Phillies team. I can't wait for first pitch. If they can find a way to get the Spencer Strider, oh boy, this is going to be a long series for Atlanta. This is going to be a long series. And at the pitching, like it was against Miami, granted Miami, Atlanta, two completely drastically different type of teams in tiers of offense and everything in general. But if the pitching, Zack Wheeler, if Aaron Nola especially pitches the way that he did against Miami, against this Braves squad, and Ranger Suarez gives you a quality outing on Saturday night, the Braves are in for a long, long series. I'm just telling you that right now. But this is, nothing more than respect for the Atlanta Braves, in my honest opinion. I hate this team with a passion, but I also respect them because they're a well-run organization. They've been dominating the National League East for years and years and years and years and years. Even though people will say they've only won 2 World Series in that process from their long stretch in the 90s and the World Series that they won in 2021. But, this team finds a way to be competitive during the regular season. They find a way to be one of the best teams in baseball. They find a ways to, give criminally cheap contracts to their best player, man. It's all respect in that aspect. But, man, this is going to be a fun series. This is really going to be a fun series. I'm confident in this Phillies squad to get the job done again. I'm sure they're confident in themselves. I'm sure there's still that lingering fear from Braves fans and everything like that. They'll sound cocky at the end of the day. They'll sound confident. They're scared. They're terrified of this Phillies team. They're terrified of their team coming up short again in a series that they should win. They're terrified. They are terrified. And I can't wait. It all starts with game 1. But still, like I said, the most important thing you got to do in this first 2 games, you just split. Split these first 2 games in Atlanta, come back to Citizens Bank Park in that home field crowd. Like I said, Braves, they'll think they're prepared for it. They're not. No matter what simulated games that you do in between the wild card series that you do, it's not going to prepare you enough. It's just not. They say they're more prepared, but they're not. They're just not. It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun. Oh, Mario, you're scared. You are scared, my friend. You're going to be scared. But still, all respect. It's all respect to the Atlanta Braves. It's going to be a fun series. I'll say you're scared, Mario, but I'll still respect you at the same time. That's all. I don't get overly cocky, but, man, it's hard, when your team's rolling good, man. It's hard when your team's rolling. it's, hard to not be excited and not be confident in your squad. There's just something with this Phillies team, man. There just is. Something with Rob Thompson and the way these guys just answer to him, with the way, Aaron Nola. And that's a good thing, too, talking about Aaron Nola. And that's even going to his last 2 starts of the regular season. It basically, after that start that he had in St. Louis, Caleb Compton went to tweaking his delivery a little bit, giving him, giving him a little slide step, working on his mechanics a little bit. And right now it's working well for Aaron Nola. He does look a little bit like a different pitcher with runners on in the last 3 games that he has pitched. So maybe there's something to that. And Zack Wheeler, if he continues to be the Zack Wheeler that he has been for the playoffs for the past couple of years for this team, he has a very low whip in the postseason in his career with the Philadelphia Phillies. He's been that dominant. He's been that good. Oh, man. No Mario. Phillies are splitting the first 2 games at least. They're split the first 2 games at least. I sense the fear. I sense the fear. I sense it. I just do. I sniff it. You know what I smell? You know what I smell? Braves fans panicking and shitting their pants as you listen through Braves Twitter and Sports Talk Radio in Atlanta. You hear the anxiety. You hear the fear. You see it throughout Twitter. Seriously, it's gotten to the point where the Braves mascot is going back and forth with Phillies fans on Twitter. It's that bad. It's that bad. To where the Braves mascot is for some reason trash-talking Phillies fans, and the Phillies fans are eating it all up. Man, that's hilarious, honestly. That is very hilarious. Like, that's the last thing I expected waking up this morning, is seeing the Braves fucking mascot going back and forth with Phillies fans on Twitter. And there's nothing like Phillies fans, man. Like, you can't beat this passion that this city has. You cannot beat this passion. You cannot beat this passion that this Phillies squad and the Philadelphia fans have. Oh my God. But still, the Braves are a very formidable opponent. But I see their weakness in the starting rotation besides Spencer Strider, and I think that's the key to this series. Can the Braves starting pitcher besides Spencer Strider hold up? So who knows? Who knows? Still, we got to see. We still got to see. I'm confident in my Phillies squad. So who knows? Hello, Chris. How you doing? Chris? I know you're a Braves fan. You're a respected guy in this subscription feed. You're not prepared, though. You're not prepared. You're terrified. You're terrified of Bryce Harper smacking a fucking bomb to give the Phillies a 3-0 lead in the first inning off of Spencer Strider. You're terrified of that. You're terrified of Nick Castellanos becoming a living meme. Deep fly to left field. You're scared of JT Realmuto continuing his hot streak. Oh, he was hot in the wild card series at fucking home in Citizens Bank Park. Just wait till you see JT Realmuto on the road. Because it's a whole different animal. Just wait till you see Ranger Suarez, calm and collected, Gold Glove caliber type of pitcher. Just you wait. I mean, Chris, we beat your ass last year. We beat your ass. There is something about this. Like, this is all respect, though. This is all respect. I'm talking in confidence, but I respect the Braves. I know how good the Braves are. I'm putting my confidence in my team because I know that over the course of the past couple of years, the Phillies have been a pain in the side of the back of the Atlanta Braves. I need to see this record, though, because the record, let me see, Braves record versus Phillies. Not 2023. I need to see. Let me see. Braves record versus Phillies. Since 2019. Let's see. Braves record against the Phillies since 2019. The Braves are 43-37 against the Phillies since 2019. Since 2019. Braves record versus MLB since 2019. So 43-37. I would like to see the Braves record versus the rest of Major League Baseball, but sadly, StatMuse is not going to show me that. Sadly, it's not going to show me that. Let's see. But to you, Chris, we're not throwing Taijuan Walker in this series. Taijuan Walker is not pitching, so screw your first inning runs. Taijuan Walker ain't pitching. You're going to be seeing Ranger Suarez, Zack Wheeler, Aaron Nola, and fucking the god of all gods, Christopher Sanchez. You're not seeing a lick of Taijuan Walker in his terrible first innings. You're not seeing that at all. Like I said, this is all fun and games. This is all fun and games. I want to be a douche. I'm just being a douche. That's all. That is all. Showing confidence in my team, but I also want to be a douche because it's just how it's fun. That's how you get good quality content. Good quality content here. Man, fun times. Fun times. It will be very fun times. I'm confident in my Phillies squad. I'm confident in my offense. I'm confident in my pitching. Bullpen, Alvarado rejuvenated himself after all the injuries this year. You haven't seen Orion Kerkering. Have you known the man, the myth, the legend that is Orion Kerkering? My God. Craig Kimbrell, yes, very big question mark. Very big question mark. He'll still get the job done, though. He'll probably walk 3 batters, but he'll get the job done. Who else? Freaking Big Balls, Jeff Hoffman. Mr. Big Balls himself. Everywhere. Ooh. Well, the Phillies against Max Fried with a blister. Can't forget the factor that in. Max Fried with a blister. Phillies have had a good stint against Max Fried over the course of his career. Let's see, Phillies record versus Max Fried. Phillies record. Max Fried is 2-4 with an ERA of 4.02 in 12 appearances against the Phillies. That's specifically on the road. Why is it on the road? Let me do his whole career. There we go. Fried is 4-4 with a record of 3 ERA of 3.62 in 19 appearances against the Phillies. So Max Fried struggles. Is Charlie Morton going to be healthy for you guys this week? I have no idea. Spencer Strider right now is the only starting pitcher from the Braves that I am terrified of. Because seriously, Spencer Strider's record against the Phillies, yes, it makes me want to throw up. Because that's how good it is. Seriously, it is. If you find a way to rise his pitch count up and maybe only get him through 5-6 innings, even if it's no earned runs, even if it's only 1 hit, 1 walk maybe, I will take that any day of the week. I will take that any day of the week. But then Ranger Suarez has to find a way to match that. He has to find a way to go 6. He has to find a way to maybe 1 2-earned run. I would accept that from Ranger. It's still anyone's game at that point, 2-0, going into a 7th inning. I would prefer the 1-earned run, but 2-earned runs I can accept. If you could find a way to get to Spencer Strider, it's going to be a long series for Atlanta. I'm just going to say that. If you could find a way. If you can find a way. I'm confident in my offense to do the job. I got to find a way, man. I got to find a way. It's going to be fun, though. Imagine Kyle Schwarber, first pitch bomb off Spencer Strider. Oh, man. Trey Turner lines one over 100 miles an hour right up the middle of the plate. Just grazes by Spencer Strider. Grazes off the mustache. I'm not saying hit the guy. I'm not even saying that. It just grazes right by him like he has to move quickly out of the way to avoid that hard liner from Trey Turner. Like I said, man. Fun stuff. Phillies still have to get the job done now. Phillies still have to get the job done. It's 1 day at a time. It is 1 day at a time. Split the first 2 in Atlanta. Split the first 2 in Atlanta. Wait, Sean, is Angel Hernandez actually behind the plate tomorrow? Is Angel Hernandez actually in a Major League Baseball playoff game? Oh my god. I need to see the umpires for tomorrow, actually. If they're even announced. Yep, so the Braves literally just announced their game 1 and 2 starter, Max Fried and Spencer Strider and Max Fried. That was no shocking there. Not shocking at all. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, you're not serious. Okay, you're not serious. Because if Angel Hernandez was actually behind the plate, both the Phillies and the Braves are going to have problems. It doesn't matter who's pitching. Both teams are going to have fucking issues with his terrible strike zone. Seriously, Angel Hernandez should not be even close to touching Major League Baseball playoff and out. Neither should CB Buckner. Neither should CB Buckner. Jesus. I hope you're joking about that too, Sean. I hope you're joking about that. Freaking CB Buckner, Angel Hernandez. What? Joe West going to come out of retirement? What, is that going to be the case? Joe West comes out of retirement and does something, for some reason calls this series. Why? Why? Why would that be the case? I don't know, because, fuck the Phillies and the Braves, I guess. I guess fuck both of us. Because for some reason, Major League Baseball wants to put their terrible umpires out there, even though that's not going to be the case. Even though that's not going to be the case. Oh, my God. That's hilarious. That's actually hilarious. Jesus. Star power against star power. I think, like I said, I think the series comes down to starting pitching. I think it does. I think it comes down to starting pitching. And the question marks with the Braves' rotation injuries, it's definitely a question mark. Definitely a question mark. So we gotta wait and see. Can't wait, though. Still, it feels like it's been 50 years. It feels like it's been 100 years since we've last seen baseball. It's been that bad. Seriously, I can't think of anything to do the past 2 days, even though I went to the Flyers game last night, preseason. Looked nice. Morgan Frost looked good and all that stuff. Yeah. Flyers. Eagles on Sunday. Like, seriously, you're thinking about this. You get Phillies Braves game 1 tomorrow. You get Eagles Rams 4 o'clock on Sunday, and then you get Braves game 2 on Monday. Like, seriously, sandwiched in between that. Nice good old sandwich. Well, Sean, you're escaping Smoltz, but you're gonna be getting Jeff Francoeur as the replacement for TBS. You're gonna be getting Jeff Francoeur as one of the color commentators. So yeah, there's a little bit of Braves bias still there. Still a little bit of that Braves bias. Oh god, now the freaking MLB is getting into the whole freaking blooper Philly fan argument. Now they're putting up a post saying which mascot is better, the Fanatic or Blooper. Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus Christ. Not even the freaking MLB. They're gonna fucking grind off this, of course. Of course. Oh my god. With the Braves, even though they have more righty heavy in their rotation, I want to see what Brandon Marsh can do this series, because he was Mr. Player for the team. He didn't start those 2 games against Miami because of the lefties on the mound. Christian Pache took his place and did stuff with his number called. Definitely did there. Brandon Marsh, took one for the team, and he respected that role. Imagine if Brandon Marsh has a moment this series. Imagine if Brandon Marsh, it doesn't even have to be a home run. Maybe it could be just like a clutch double with maybe a guy on first and second base somehow finds a way to score those 2 guys. Or if, double with second and third. Get the 2-run double in a key situation to put the Phillies up. Who knows? Maybe it is a home run. You had that moment against Charlie Morton last year. 3-run shot in game 4. Send the Phillies, before the JT Realmuto inside the Parker. Ooh, Jesus. Man, oh man. This is going to be electric, Matt, though. This is going to be an electric series. Gotta take one of the first 2 games, though. Got to take one of the first 2 games. That's the key. If you take one of 2, you're set perfectly going back home to Citizens Bank Park. Set perfectly. And every game, I believe, in this series is going to be 6 o'clock besides Game 3, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look at the schedule. Yep. Every game so far this series is going to be 6 o'clock besides Game 3, which is next Wednesday. And I do believe seeing a post on the Braves Twitter for Game 5, if that's necessary. If every other team clinches their series before the Phillies and the Braves do, and the Phillies are the only Game 5 playing that night, I think they said that switches to a 7 or an 8 o'clock game for Game 5, if that's the case. So I think that's the case. So we're getting a little bit along here. I do want to go to the Anytime Hotline. You can leave your thoughts on everything here on Hotline 215-839-9885. Your thoughts and opinions on anything Philly sports related. Specifically, Phillies playoffs and all that shit right October. Let's get the show on here. He left the voicemail. Let's see what he has to say in regards to this series.
Well, this is it, Amadeo. This is the series that I think everybody expected and everybody was looking forward to. I said it the other night, it truly is going to be like that of a heavyweight championship fight. I mean, both these teams are evenly matched. Neither team is going to be intimidated by the other. The Phillies, I'm going to say my opinion, I think the Phillies somehow, some way are going to win this series. I will also say this. The winner of this series, I think, is going to the World Series. I think whoever wins this series will take out Arizona or the Dodgers. And don't be surprised if the Diamondbacks come out of the West. But the Phillies, optimistically, Harper did nothing against the Marlins, and you won without him. So he needs to get off the schneid. I mean, great players come up big at big times. This is Bryce Harper's time to shine. Hopefully we can steal Game 1 against Mr. Mustache. It's going to be tough, but I like the Phillies to win the series.
Yeah, you get that little mustache there, that little porn stash that I like to call from Mr. Spencer Strider. Phillies are going to shave that shit off. It's going to evaporate as the game goes along. You're going to start seeing, Kyle Schwarber lead off bomb. A couple of hairs fall out of the mustache. Trey Turner gets on with a double. Bryce Harper bomb. Over the course of the game, more mustache hairs fall out. It's going to be a freaking bald upper lip by the time games end. That's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be. But I'm still scared of Spencer Strider now. I may sound that confident, but Spencer Strider does make my stomach hurt. He does, because he's just that good against the Phillies in his career. So, Ranger Suarez is the most important thing for tomorrow as well. He needs to find a way to match Spencer Strider, whatever Spencer Strider is going to do. If Spencer Strider's going to be bad, don't match that. Just be better. But, Ranger, I need length from him. I need at least 6 innings. Same thing that, Zack Wheeler did against Miami, and same thing with Aaron Nola. I need length. Even though that you do have the off day mixed in between there, so I'm sure you can get fancy a little bit with the bullpen. So I'm sure, if Ranger Suarez gets into trouble in like the 4th or the 5th inning, I'm sure Rob won't be, hesitant to get the bullpen up to try to get a different matchup in there. I wouldn't be shocked if that's the fact. And yeah, I'm confident in my squad. I think Chris asked how many games I think this series is going. If the Phillies split the first 2 games, Phillies in 4. If the Phillies split the first 2 games, it's Phillies in 4. I think that's the case. If the Braves win, they win in 5. If the Phillies win, they win in 4. I think that's the case. I think that is the case. If the Phillies win this series, they win in 5. If the Phillies win this series, they win in 4. If the Braves win this series, they win in 5. I think that's the case. I think that's what's going to happen. I'm confident in my squad that we can at least split the first 2 games in Atlanta, and then coming back to Philadelphia, I'm confident as hell in my ballpark. Overly confident. And that's going to be the whole factor there. You got to win one of these games, and I think if you win Game 1, that's the most important thing there. You have to try to win Game 1. Still, splitting the first 2 games is still a great feat, but I would like to try to get the Spencer Strider, find a way, even if that means just working his pitch count up and getting him out of the game early. Whether it's the 5th inning, whether it's the 6th inning with around, 95 over 100 pitches at that point. If you can just get him out of the game, work that count up, maybe work a couple of walks in there, you have a great chance. But Ranger Suarez needs to find a way to match that. Whatever Spencer Strider is going to do. Offense, I'm confident in them, and we'll see how it goes. I'm confident in my squad, and that's that. I'm saying Phillies in 4. And that punches a trip to the NLCS. It's going to be a heavyweight battle. It's going to be a dogfight. There's going to be stress. There's going to be frustration. There's going to be excitement. Everything possible. Every emotion that you can think. It's going to happen. Man. Let me get to the live feed here before we end it off. A lot of guys in here. A lot of you guys here. I appreciate all of you for joining up. If you're new, definitely hit that subscribe button. Also drop a like. It does me great wonders. And I'm sure I'm going to be getting a bunch of Braves fans throughout this course of the week. I'm sure I am. Already have a couple of them in here, but I'm sure I'm going to get more. So I'm, not worried about that aspect. Am I doing a watch party for Game 1? We'll debate as the day goes along. It really just depends on what the game looks like. I think that's the case. Maybe that'll be the case. Yep, Phillies have to get the Strider. David, how are you doing? I really see people keep forgetting the playoffs. Phillies and the regular season Braves are equally dominating. Braves and playoffs can look beatable. Bryce Harper owns Rhys Iglesias. Phillies are not going home at the end of story. They ain't going home. They'll be going home to Citizens Bank Park with either a series tied or a 2-0 series lead. I don't see anything less than that. I agree. Take Game 1. Exactly like you did last year. Which, Sean, you have minimal respect for me? What the hell? What the hell, man? What the hell? I was your friend. Phillies are winning the first 2 games. I like the confidence, though. I do. Depressed the Met. We got a Met fan here. I'm sure he hates both of us. I'm sure he hates all of us. If depressed Met fan is still in here, who do you think is winning the series? Let's get the Mets fan opinion here. Vegas odds have the Braves winning, and Vegas odds are pretty smart. Well, I'm sure it was like that last year, and look what happened. Who am I picking in the other series in both leagues? Oh, God. Honestly, I think the Diamondbacks beat the Dodgers. I think they do. I know the Dodgers, I believe they own the Diamondbacks in the regular season, but I just have that feeling that Diamondbacks win it. It's mainly to the starting rotation as well. I think that's the case. The Dodgers starting rotation is RIP'd to hell. Like, seriously, they're relying on, even though Clayton Kershaw's had a good season, he's still very old, and who knows what could happen in that case. And then there are a couple of young starting pitchers, rookies at least, and then Lance Lynn. So, even though their bullpen's dynamic and their offense is amazing, I think the Diamondbacks win that series. Between the Astros and the Orioles, that's tough. That is tough. No, wait, it's not the Astros and the Orioles. It's the Orioles and the Rangers, isn't it? And then the Astros and the Twins. Astros versus Twins, I think Astros win that. I don't care how good the Twins pitching is. The Astros just have way too much experience. And then Rangers and Orioles. I think Orioles win. That's going to be, I think that series is going to go to full length. I think that's the Orioles and the Rangers are going to go to full length. Astros, I think they win that series in 4. Diamondbacks, I think that series goes 4 or 5. I'm not fully confident on how many games for that, but I think that's the case. I'm killing it, Chris. What the hell? I'm just speaking my honest thoughts, man. Nothing but facts here. I'm waxing to honor Spencer Strider. I'm waxing my mustache. Charles says, I have a good feeling about this series. Braves eliminated in 4. I like that. I like that. I like that. A lot of back and forth here between David and Chris. Does Rojas play tomorrow against the righty starter? I say, yeah, I think Rojas is playing regardless. I think that's the case. I don't think you see anything of I think basically you're just going to see Brandon Marsh in for Pache. I think that's basically it. I think Rojas has done enough to deserve be in the lineup for every single postseason game. I think he's deserved that much. It would be cool to see Pache get some type of revenge against his former team that drafted him and all that, or signed him from the international. I forget how he went to the Braves. I'm sure he could have been an international signing, but that would be cool to see him get some type of revenge against his former team. But I still think it's Brandon Marsh left field, Rojas center field. I think that's the way it's going to go. Just basically looking at the lineup, you flip-flop Bowman Harper, put Harper third, Bohm 4, and then you put in Marsh for Pache. I think that's what it's going to be. Y'all just better hope you can get one in Truist. Oh, I firmly believe we can get one in Truist Park. No doubt, Nestor. I'm firmly confident we can win a game in Truist. Truist atmosphere is nowhere close to Citizens Bank Park atmosphere in the playoffs. Nowhere close. What else? Oh yeah, definitely a great series. It's going to be a great series. All the umps suck. Use the old robot ump. Brian O'Nora is going to be behind the plate tomorrow. Yeah, poor Wade Allison. Yeah, Francoeur did play us during the back end of his career, during the rebuilds era. I have my respect for Jeff Francoeur there. But still, I'm sure he's a Brave first and foremost because he played there for the majority of his career. The weather for Game 3 at the bank looks wonderful. Let's finish this series on Wednesday. I hope that's the case, Jose. I hope that's the case. I'm just glad we're not having to play day games this year. Braves suck terribly in day games. Have to make Strider work. Exactly. Do not give away at bats. If you get on steal bases. Thinking positively, that's the right way to go. That is the right way to go. Game 1 winners, Orioles, Astros, Phillies, and Diamondbacks. I could see that happening. Strider does have a solid stash, as does Rhys Hoskins. Ranger simply has to keep him in the game. All you can ask. Exactly. If Ranger gives you 6 innings, 1 earned or 2 earned runs, that's more you can ask for from Ranger. That is plenty more than you can ask for from Mr. Ranger Suarez. And I'm sure the Braves, with Ranger on the mound, they're going to go righty heavy. So I'm sure you're going to see you maybe see Darno in the lineup. I'm sure Sean Murphy's going to be in the lineup. Really, I don't think Rosario's going to be in the lineup. You might see something there. Who knows? Rosario might be. But I think they go righty heavy, the Braves do, against Ranger. Vegas odds don't matter. Look at the Braves last night. Yeah, the Braves did win at the bank this year, but it doesn't matter in the playoffs. Regular season, first playoffs, completely different beast. RIP the Mets. I hope the D-backs get rid of the Dodgers. Oh yeah, Dodgers starting pitching is non-existent. That's their biggest weakness, starting pitching. That's why I think this series as well, starting pitching is key for the Phillies and the Braves. I think right now, just in terms of health-wise, the Phillies starting rotation is stronger than Atlanta's. Braves versus Dodgers rematch in the NLCS. I don't think that's going to be the case. We're back, baby. Let's get fired up. Hey, Renee, how you doing? You excited for Matt V. Michkov, Renee? You excited for him? Because I am. Matt V. Michkov. He's going to somehow find his way into the Phillies lineup and hit a bomb off Spencer Strider. That's what's going to happen. I think that's what's going to happen. I firmly believe it. See if there's anything here on Twitter before we end it off. Good stuff from Charlie Manuel. He's getting better every day. I love that. Did you see the video of him in, like, physical therapy? Swinging the bat in the light tosses. That was fucking amazing. That was amazing. Showing pictures of Nick Castellanos in the batting cage. I love it. I love it. Clayton Kershaw's getting the first game start for the Dodgers against the Diamondbacks. Yeah, here's a post from Scott Lauber on what the Braves specifically did between the off week during the wild card series. He says maybe it won't mean anything, but it is notable that the Braves changed things up this year during the layoff between the season and the NLDS, including playing simulated games at night in front of fans versus minor league pitchers. Playing minor league pitchers, I don't think that makes a difference. You're gonna hit minor league pitching. What else? Everyone, and we're seeing all the posts about this is the anniversary of Roy Halladay's no-hitter in the playoffs. So that's cool. Man. Man, oh man. Oh man. Can't wait. Can't wait. Matt Vey is throwing out the first pitch in game 3. Is tomorrow a Kyle Gibson type Saturday? No, I don't think it's gonna be Kyle Gibson. I think it's gonna be who will be pitching for the Orioles? I gotta see. Let me see who's pitching for the Orioles. Did they announce? No, Kyle Bradish. Kyle Bradish and Grayson Rodriguez are starting the first 2 games for Baltimore. Does Kyle Gibson even see a playoff game? That's to be determined. That is to be determined. That is to completely be determined. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting time, boys. Tomorrow, 6 p.m., TBS. TBS is the broadcast for tomorrow. And looking at the other games that are scheduled, 1 o'clock, Texas and Baltimore, 4:45, Minnesota and Houston, 6 p.m., Phillies, Braves, and then 9:20, Arizona and Dodgers. So that should be a fun day of baseball. And then for Sunday, it's just the American League. Monday's just the National League. I would assume Tuesday's just the American League again. And then and so on and so forth. But tomorrow, the division series starts for both. Going to be a fun time. Game by game. It's going to be a very emotional series. Very draining series. I'm sure of it. And who knows? Maybe we'll have a watch party tomorrow. Maybe we will. Maybe that could be the case. I'll think about it as the night goes along. We'll probably do a watch party. Yeah, set in stone. We're doing a watch party. We'll do a watch party. Why not? So definitely stay tuned for that. You'll see it in your subscription feed pop up tomorrow morning, most likely. So definitely stay tuned for that. Have some fun. We'll hang out and shit and enjoy whatever happens with the Phillies and the Braves tomorrow. It's going to be fun regardless. So that's going to do it with tomorrow, anybody. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, everybody. I don't know why I just completely flipped that over. But what is it going to be? It's a long stream. Fumbling over my words. It's common. Common here at TTP Sports. Not the best host in the world. Deal with it. So, don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to check out description down below. Don't forget that subscribe button does me a great deal of service. Also use the code TTP Sports, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Don't pass it up. Thank you for joining today, everybody. Cannot wait for Phillies Braves starting tomorrow.